Good morning and welcome to Live Without Limits. Transform your thinking to redesign your life. I'm your host, Davida Shensky. I want to talk about two of the most powerful forces that shape the way we live, the way we relate to others, and most importantly, the way we relate to ourselves: love and respect. Now, here's the question I want you to think about. Do you love yourself but sometimes struggle to respect yourself? Or do you respect yourself but find it hard to truly love who you are? Here's the truth: love and respect are not the same thing, but they are partners, twin pillars that hold up your sense of self worth. Love is about compassion and acceptance. Respect is about boundaries and standards. You need both if you want to live fully, confidently, and authentically. Therefore, in this episode, we're going to unpack the difference between self love and self respect, how they work together, and practical ways that you can strengthen both in your daily life. So, the first thing we're going to talk about is self love. Self love is treating yourself with compassion, kindness, and acceptance. It's about being your own biggest supporter instead of your harshest critic. What does this look like? It's speaking kindly to yourself instead of tearing yourself down. It's giving yourself permission to rest when you're exhausted. It's forgiving yourself when you make mistakes instead of replaying them endlessly in your mind. Here's what it's not: self love is not selfishness, it's not arrogance, and it's not pretending that you're perfect. Self love is about embracing who you are, the good, the bad, and the work in progress parts also. Think about this example. Let's say that you plan to go to the gym after work, but you're absolutely drained. Instead of beating yourself up with, I'm lazy, I'm weak, self love might sound like, I'm tired and my body needs rest. Tonight I'll recharge and tomorrow I'll try again. That's love in action, compassion without judgment. Some examples of love in action: compassion without judgment. Making a mistake at work. Without love, you say to yourself, I can't believe I messed that up. I'm so stupid. With love, you say, I made a mistake, but everyone does. I'll learn from it and do better next time. The comparison is that without judgment means that you separate your worth from your slip ups. Looking in the mirror without love, you focus only on the flaws. I hate my hair today. I look terrible. With love, you notice something positive. I'm grateful for my smile. My body carries me through the day. Compassion without judgment shifts the narrative from criticism to appreciation. Struggling with consistency. Without love, you skip the gym or your journaling routine and say, I have no discipline. I'll never stick with anything. With love, you say, I missed today, and that's okay. Tomorrow is another chance to show up for myself. The comparison is that without judgment allows room for imperfection while still honoring effort, handling emotions. Without love, you feel anxious and judge yourself. I shouldn't feel this way. I need to toughen up. With love, you say, it's only and it's okay to feel anxious. Emotions are part of being human. I'll take a walk or breathe to support myself. Comparison without judgment validates feelings instead of slamming them. Relationships and boundaries. Without love, you let guilt control you. If I say no, they'll be upset. So I'll just push myself even though I'm exhausted. With love, you say, I care about them, but I also need rest. Saying no kindly honors both of us. Comparison without judgment protects your energy without resentment. Past choices without love, you replay regrets. I want so much time. I ruined my chances. Or rather, let's say it this way, I wasted so much time that I ruined my chances. With love, you say, I made the best decisions I could with what I knew then. Now I know more and I can choose differently. Comparison without judgment relates and releases shame and opens the door for growth. In essence, self love in action isn't about ignoring flaws or mistakes. It's about meeting them with compassion instead of criticism, understanding, self respect. Now, talk about self respect. If self love is about compassion, self respect is about standards. It's the choices that you make that show the world and yourself that your life, your time, and your energy matter. Self respect looks like saying no when something doesn't serve you. It looks like walking away from toxic environments, whether that's a relationship or workplace, or even your own bad habits. It looks like being consistent with your values. Where love asks, how can I be kind to myself? Respect asks, how can I honor my self worth? Now, before I go on, I want to say this. I grew up in a home where it was very, very toxic. And I remember being that 12-year-old child that I got hit every day in the name of discipline. And there's a difference between when you do something wrong and you get disciplined and being hit as abuse. And understanding it really helps you to understand how and what the differences are and how to show that. And I can tell you this much. I can remember when I got out of my mother's house and I left the state to go work somewhere else. I always knew that going back to live with my mother was never the answer because I knew it would only fuel her to even abuse me more and tell me how I failed. And I knew that was not an environment I wanted to be in. And when I was in the same environment, I had to keep a distance from her and my mother would lie to people and make me to be the aggressor. She even try to use the courts to say that I was abusing her so that she can use it to control me. And once I left being around her, I never went back, and I limited the relationship we even have. To this day, I don't have a relationship with my younger sister because she disrespects me, because my mother disrespected me, and because my mother let her get away with abusing her sisters, and she continues to do it to this day. So while love makes room for forgiveness, respect makes sure that you don't keep repeating the same cycle. Here's where it gets really interesting. Love and respect work hand in hand, but they play different roles. Self-love makes room for forgiveness. It says, I made a mistake, but I'm human and I still deserve compassion. That forgiveness keeps you from falling into shame or self-hatred. Without love, you'd be stuck, beating yourself up forever. But self-respect is what makes sure that you don't make and keep repeating the same cycles. Respect says, yes, I forgive myself, but I also hold myself accountable to do better. Without respect, forgiveness can become enabling. You excuse the behavior, but never grow from it. Think about it like this. Love without respect is like a parent who always excuses their child's bad behavior. The child feels accepted but never learns responsibility. Respect without love is like a parent who enforces rules harshly but never offers warmth or encouragement. The child may behave, but they don't feel valued. Together, love and respect create balance, compassion, and accountability, kindness, and structure. Now, let me go back and use an examples. I grew up in a home where I had two parents that they didn't really know what love was. They were never demonstrative with each other. Their relationship was more of a companionship, that my father wanted someone that would be a hostess whenever he had dinner parties, and my mother needed financial support. So their relationship was more of a companionship than true love. And there was no respect between them because they could be very verbally abusive. Sad part is they grew up in homes where this is how they were treated. So they didn't know how to be any different. Remember that often we repeat the behaviors that we learn from the time we're children. And for a lot of reasons, I know it's often hard for me to show love, but I try. And I know that I may not do it outwardly physically, but I do it in other ways to help people whenever I can. And understanding how you show it, the different ways. But when you're around people who become demonstrative and can show, it teaches you how to show love yourself. So, self-love says, okay, I slipped up. I forgive myself for the mistake. I'm not going to spiral into shame. Self-respect says, but I also need to put a plan in place. Maybe set a budget or leave the call at home or the card at home so I don't fall into the same trap again. Another example, you stay in a relationship where you're not being valued. Love says, I deserve kindness. I deserve to be happy. Respect says, and because I know that, I won't keep accepting behavior that hurts me. I'll walk away if things don't change. Love gives you grace. Respect gives you standards. Love lets you forgive yourself when you stumble. Respect keeps you from stumbling over the same stone again and again. And here's the beautiful part. When you show yourself both, you also teach the world to treat you with both. People learn that you are kind, but not a pushover. You are forgiving, but not willing to be mistreated. That balance is where true strength lies. Now, we're going to talk about how love and respect work together. This is where it gets really powerful when love and respect work together. Love is the emotional foundation. It nurtures you, comforts you, and accepts you for who you are. Respect is the behavioral framework. It protects you, sets boundaries, and calls you to live by your principles. But here's the thing, if you only have one without the other, you end up off balance. If you only love yourself but don't respect yourself, you may indulge in habits that hurt you because you forgive but don't correct. If you only respect yourself but don't love yourself, life can start to feel cold, rigid, like you're constantly po- policing yourself without compassion. Together, though, they create wholeness. Love says, I made a mistake, and that's okay. Respect says, I'll learn from it so that I don't repeat it. And here's where it ripples out. When you love and respect yourself, you're teaching the world how to treat you. You're modeling both kindness and boundaries. You're saying, I am worthy of care and dignity, and people mirror that back. Now, let's even go deeper into this idea. When you love and respect yourself, you're teaching the world how to treat you. Here's why. The way you treat yourself sets the baseline. If you're constantly criticizing yourself, letting people walk all over your boundaries, or putting yourself last, you're telling the world that's okay. This is the level I'll accept. But when you speak kindly to yourself, honor your time, and treat yourself as someone who matters, you raise the standard, and people learn they need to meet you there. People mirror what you model. If you radiate self love, people naturally approach you with warmth. If you stand in self respect, calmly holding your boundaries, showing reliability, people reflect that respect back. Think of it like holding up a mirror. Whatever you show yourself is what others see and return to you. Your boundaries silently teach people the rules of engagement. Every time you reinforce boundary, you're saying without words, this is how I allow myself to be treated. And every time you respect someone else's boundaries, You reinforce that you expect the same from them. Love and respect filter your relationship when you carry yourself with both. The people who can't meet those standards often drift away, and the people who can, they are drawn to you. You stop tolerating toxic dynamics, and instead you attract healthy and balanced ones. And here's the most important part: consistency. Love keeps you compassionate so that you don't turn bitter. Respect keeps you accountable so you don't enable bad behavior. Together, they create a steady, consistent standard. People learn this is who you are, and this is how you expect to be treated every single time. So when you love yourself, you teach others to show you kindness. When you respect yourself, you teach others to show you dignity. And when you practice both, you don't just set rules, you embody a standard that people can't help but recognize and respond to. And the last thing I'm going to say about this is this: how you treat yourself and how you treat others is how you are teaching them you expect to be treated. Practical habits to build love and respect. Let's get practical. How do you actually strengthen both love and respect in your daily life? Here are some habits that you can start today. Daily practices for love. Start your morning with affirmations like, I am enough as I am, or keep a gratitude journal focused on your own progress and qualities. Self love is about nurturing your inner voice. Daily practices for respect. Decide on one boundary that you will hold today. Maybe it's not answering work emails or dinner. Maybe it's saying no to a request that you don't have the energy for. Respect is about protecting your time, energy, and values. Now, let's say this again: that you need to decide on one boundary that you will hold today. Maybe it's not answering work emails after dinner. Maybe it's saying no to a request that you don't have the energy for. Respect is about protecting your time, energy, and values. Combine both in one action. You say, I need rest tonight. That's love, listening to your body. And it's respect, protecting your energy and time. Journaling prompt. Each evening, write down 2 questions. How do I show how do I show myself love today? How did I show myself respect today? If one column is empty, you know where to focus tomorrow. Small steps repeated daily create massive shifts. These are habits you build, and over time, they reshape the way you treat yourself and how others respond to you. Here's some examples of how to create these shifts. Shift in self-talk. Before you wake up late and say, I'm such a failure, I can't even get up on time. Afterwards say, you reframe with love. I needed rest today. I'll start fresh now. Respect added. You set a bedtime routine so that tomorrow you honor your commitment to get up earlier. Love forgives. Respect creates structure. Shift in boundaries. Before, a coworker always dumps extra work on you and you quietly accept it. Afterwards, with love, you say to yourself, I deserve balance and rest. With respect, you say to them, I don't have the capacity to take this on right now. Love validates your need. Respect enforces it. Shift in relationships. Before, a friend constantly cancels plans, and you tell yourself, I guess I'm not that important. You let it slide every time. Afterwards, with love, you say, I am valuable and my time matters. With respect, you let them know, I'd love to see you, but if plans keep changing, I may need to step back. Love builds self worth. Respect demands reciprocity. Shift in habits. Before, you skip exercise and beat yourself up. I'm lazy. I'll never get in shape. Afterwards, with love, you say, it's okay. I'm human. With respect, you recommit. My health matters, so I'll walk for 20 minutes today to stay consistent. Love releases shame. Respect reinforces action. Shifting career or money. Before, you undercharge for your work, telling yourself, I don't deserve more. Afterwards, with love, you affirm, my skills and effort have value. With respect, you raise your rates and negotiate fairly. Love affirms worth, self respect demands recognition. Shift in handling emotions. Before, you feel anxious and judge yourself. Why am I like this? I should be stronger. After, with love, you say, it's okay to feel anxious. This is part of being human. With respect, you take supportive action, maybe journaling, deep breathing, or asking for help. Love validates feelings. Respect supports healing. The key idea here is for you. Creating shifts is about pairing love, compassion, and forgiveness with respect, boundaries, and accountability. Together, they slowly transform how you see yourself and how others respond to you. So here's the bottom line: self love nurtures you, and self respect protects you. Together, they are the twin pillars that hold up your self worth. This week, I challenge you to look at one area of your life where you're practicing love but not respect, or respect but not love. Then ask yourself, how can I bring the two together? So I would now like to thank you for tuning in to Live Without Limits. And this episode resonated with you, share it with a friend who could use a reminder about love and respect. And don't forget to subscribe so that you don't miss an episode. And I would like to take this time to have you remember, when you love and respect yourself, you set the tone for how the world treats You.